It's crazy to me that people exhibit the skepticism that they do in regards to like making a lifestyle change in regards to what they eat. People, what I'm essentially trying to say is that people, they have no issue day in and day out living the way that they currently do. And most Americans, whether people like to admit it or not, they don't lead or live a healthy lifestyle. It's insane how abusive people are to themselves in regards to how hard they are on their bodies, right? It's like riding a horse hard and then putting it away wet. It's like burning through the midnight oil, running a car without motor oil, grinding gears, etc. People have no problem living these very strange lives, right? But the second they, someone might find, for instance, my videos, and they might be interested in what I'm talking about, and they might want to make some changes to their lifestyle, but all of a sudden they're skeptical, right? Oh, the magnesium, I don't know, that might not be healthy for me. Or iodine supplementation, I read somewhere that iodine's really dangerous. Or yeah, I'm supposed to do what with my diet? I'm supposed to change this, I'm supposed to change that. Like, what I'm essentially trying to say is that people, all they do for the most part is they create excuses. And those excuses are often veiled under like skepticism. I'm just being a responsible person, I'm doing like my due diligence, when in fact you're just wasting time, guys. You harbor none of that same skepticism in regards to like what you're currently doing. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. I've noticed this trait in humans for years now. Years. It's like you're so quick to be concerned about a supplement, for instance, or for instance, letting go of gluten, but you don't have an issue with what you're currently doing. Essentially what I'm trying to say, and this is a fucking massive word soup, so forgive me, guys, is that people don't uphold the same criticisms to their current patterns as they do to patterns that force people to change their current patterns. Does that make sense? This is a human trait, a characteristic that is very common. It's remarkably common. And what it all comes down to essentially is excuse making. Excuse making. Most people aren't going to be willing to truly shift. To truly shift, guys. You can shift your life into a different direction with the snap of your fingers, just like that. But all of your being has to be behind your decision. I actually have an enchanted ring on my pinky. And this ring is a ring of transformation. This ring was purchased at a very critical point in my life where I had to make a drastic 180-degree change to my life, and I did it like that. This ring was a source of power during that shift, and I fed it non-ordinary energy as I made that shift. It's a vessel that contains my unbending intent. And now I wear it constantly as a reminder of the fact that in the snap of your fingers, you can get on the right track with your life if you're willing to do it. This ring brings me much comfort and much power. Every time I look at it, the visual connection I make with it feeds the ring more power, and the ring feeds me more power. I am living proof that you can quantum shift your reality with the fucking snapping of your fingers. That is real magic. But you just want to find every excuse in the book as to why you should stay in the current position that you're in now, even though deep down you know it's not bringing you the fucking life that you desire. You see, in order to obtain a better life, you have to change, you guys. And most people aren't willing to change. I recently saw something on X. It was a pictograph, or a picture, of two lines of people, right? One line was full of people, hundreds of them, and it said, people who want change. There were hundreds of people in this line. There was a line next to this line that said people willing to make change. There wasn't a single person in that line. Everybody wants change, but they're not willing to do what it takes to manifest the change. That's what I'm essentially trying to get at here, guys. So again, you can get yourself to a point where you can practice naked magic without the tools and the rituals, magic of you just changing your mind, right? Snapping your fingers and creating a new reality. You can completely pivot. You can completely alter the course of your reality like that, right? Naked magic without tools, essentially. And that's essentially where you want to get to in life. You need, like, here's the thing. The average person is so inundated with mind control that they have to use ritual tools in order to fucking focus their mind. You can get to a point, guys, like I said, where you can shift everything like that. The closest thing that people come to, for the most part, in terms of making radical changes immediately is when they reach a cataclysm, right? When like a disaster happens in their life, so they're kind of forced to make change. You don't want to get to that point, you guys. You want to get to the point where you have a healthy mind, and a healthy mind can shift reality based on what's most important or what's the healthiest route. I think you catch my drift. So again, all this skepticism, people messaging me, asking me what can I do to, change my lifestyle? How can I get healthier? And then there's sometimes where I'll write detailed emails to people or messages, and then I won't hear back from them. They'll totally ghost me because they don't actually want to do what it takes to truly change. Or I'll get messages back from people saying, are you sure that the magnesium's safe? Are you sure iodine's safe? Are you sure I really need to not eat gluten? Look, guys, I'm not here to fucking babysit people. I want to communicate with and work with people who are willing to make radical change. And of course, there's nothing wrong with researching magnesium supplementation and its safety, this, that, and the other. But like, people just want to find all of these excuses, or people will message me, can you explain to me what the magnesium will do for me? Can you break it down for me? I've done it in videos, countless videos. And like, I value my time at this point in my life more than trying to like convince you to do something, right? I have these videos. I'm willing to respond to people's messages. I'm willing to work with people. But if you expect me to just like spend all this time trying to convince you to do something, it's up to you and you alone, guys. And you have the ability to do your own independent research. And I'm not pointing my finger at anybody in general. I'm not. I value my subscribers more than anything. Without you guys, this channel wouldn't exist. But so many people just want to be walked through everything. I read somewhere that iodine's not safe, blah, blah. It's like, guys, for instance, I've been taking iodine for over a decade. I'm doing just fine. Right? But my point is that people don't apply that same skepticism to something like iodine as they do all the shit that they currently eat. And don't try to tell me that people don't eat shit, because statistically here in the United States, it's an absolute abomination of the highest magnitude. People are destroying themselves with food. People are destroying themselves with drugs. People are destroying themselves with overstimulation. That's what this is all about, you guys. All the Ritalin and the Concerta and the Adderall. It's amazing how many of your favorite content creators are blasted out of their minds on amphetamines. And people don't even notice it. Guys, you got to get your fucking senses back so that you can see what's going on here. You can get to a point where you can read between the lines and tell when someone's fucking blasted on something, when someone's lying to you. This channel is all about doing it naturally, or as close to naturally as possible. I say as close to naturally as possible because I do condone supplements, and I use them. Supplements, in my opinion, in this world are non-negotiable, right? Magnesium supplementation is critical. There's thousands of functions in your body that require adequate magnesium for them to even take place. Your cells, your body requires magnesium, sufficient magnesium levels for ATP to take place or to function properly inside of your cells, you guys. Without magnesium, ATP, your body's energy production system is greatly hindered. And magnesium is just one of multiple minerals that your body needs. But magnesium is a really critical one, you guys, because we deplete ourselves of this very rapidly through stress, environmental toxicity, exposure to toxicity, heavy metals. If you sweat a lot, you deplete your magnesium levels. So magnesium, it's like people have no problem taking their pharmaceuticals, but magnesium. Oh my goodness. Oh, a coffee enema. Are you sure that's safe? Can you walk me through everything? It's like, no. My time at this point in my life is more valuable to me than anything. And like, again, I'm not pointing my finger at any of my subscribers in general. In fact, a good majority of the people that have shown me skepticism like this are people that I've worked with personally over the years, in person. People, some of them don't even watch my channel. A good chunk of them haven't. But it's like, how do you have no problem going along doing what you're doing daily when it's clearly destroying your health? Again, you want to get healthy because you're not healthy. What you're doing isn't working. Otherwise, you wouldn't be embracing or seeking health. You have no problem doing those same things daily, eating all the crap with all the glyphosate and the fucking dyes and all the crap, but magnesium might not be safe. Oh my goodness. It's like, really? Like, it's just some people are anchors in regards to their own progress. And that's just the way it is. People are wired for this. This is the byproduct of hundreds of years of mind control, satanic ritual abuse, and filling your head full of meaningless nonsense. People have lost their minds, guys. And as I've said in many of my videos, when you start to get the nourishment back into your system, you will start to elevate your mind and the health of your body to a point where you can fucking see that people are not well. When I say people are zombies, you guys, I mean it. When I walk around the material realm, when I leave the house to go to the store or whatnot, I never leave without anointing my solar plexus, my heart, my forehead, my wrists, and my ankles with a holy oil that I make from Artemisia absinthium, mixed with Artemisia vulgaris, mugwort, right? I wear protective jewelry, power objects, because these are energetic beings they're very, very toxic, you guys. When I look at your average individual, to me, after years of nourishment, entering into non-ordinary states of reality, developing relationships with plant spirits, working with the non-ordinary, etc., entering into the second attention, my senses have been reconditioned and wired in a way where I can see what's going on. And the average person, to me, looks like a knuckle-dragging caveman. I mean it. Their body language, the way they move, their facial expressions, the way that they've been rewired, it looks like a zombie to me shuffling around, like it's half dead. And I mean that literally. I'm not saying that to sound exaggerative. To me, that's what my senses are showing me. I mean it literally. I'm not saying it symbolically. They look like zombies because they are, guys. But you don't see it, or you only see the outer fringes of it. And not to be repetitive about iodine, but one of the contributing factors as to why you don't see is iodine deficiency. Every cell in your body requires adequate iodine. Low iodine is directly, and it's been proven, it's directly related to low IQ. A lack of problem-solving abilities, a lack of intelligence, and that's just one mineral. So, guys, they've fractured us, and we live in a world of malnourishment, and that's how everybody's controlled. People can say, "Oh, you're controlled through the TV and all this other stuff." No, you're controlled and kept a slave through malnourishment. And you bought into this typical standard American RDA system, for instance. Shiva, do not escape. The recommended daily allowances for most foods, minerals, or for most minerals and vitamins is engineered to be critically low, right? For instance, the RDA on iodine, it's just enough to keep you from getting a goiter. It's not enough to feed your entire endocrine system. God, what is it? Like 250 micrograms? What an embarrassment. So you follow the recommended daily allowances and you go onto Chronometer and you enter in your day's food and you think that you're getting enough nourishment? No, guys, no, you're not. We need non-ordinary nourishment. Those of us who are truly on the path. And it's very difficult. And what do I mean by non-ordinary nutrition? Excuse me. Even the healthiest of health foods have been stripped of their like vital nutrients, guys. Even the healthiest of health foods. I don't care how grass-fed that beef is that you're eating. It has dramatically lower amounts of critical nutrients than it should. So, like, here's the thing. What am I trying to say? I'm on a really tight budget right now. Finances are really tight lately. It's been like this for a while, but I embrace it. I'm in what I call survival mode. And in survival mode, I've got to ration my food very, very strategically. And on top of that, you guys, I'm having to eat the cheaper cuts of meat from the store and the non-organic fruit. Even though that stuff is conventionally grown and raised, it is still 100 million-fold better for you than the processed crap. So when there's a will, there's a way. The way that I eat, even when I'm in survival mode, gives me so much fucking energy that I feel like I could rip a tree out of the ground. I have limitless energy. The Energizer Bunny, the Energizer Serpent. I'm constantly every day upgrading and experiencing more energy. But I cannot begin, you guys, with how powerful this meat, fruit, and venom diet is. I cannot even begin to imagine the type of kundalini power that this diet would give you if it was coming from a biome that wasn't terraformed, where the animals were allowed to be wild and grazed on real land that wasn't exposed to stratospheric aerosol injection residue, nanotech. The animals are filled full of nanotech, you guys. They're being pumped full of hormones, antibiotics, and vaccines. Like, I cannot even begin to imagine what a diet would be like this diet, the meat, fruit, and venom diet, if this biome, this world hadn't been terraformed, where the fruit actually grew wild that we ate, where the food was actually raised properly. The animals were wild animals, right? It's insane how powerful this way of eating is with conventionally raised food. I am experiencing power in ways that I never thought imaginable, you guys. This system works. And for some people, they're going to do better with less fruit. And some people are going to do better with more. It depends on your activity level and your genetics. Some people do really good on a zero-carb carnivore diet. And I've intentionally, in my diet system, which will be available on serpentsource.com soon, if you buy the book, you'll see that in this meat, fruit, and venom diet, which I have a name for it, I just haven't published it yet or announced it, there is strategic periods where I motivate you to go into a zero-carb diet to get the benefits of no carbohydrates at all, right? I'll talk more about this later. But like I go between, there's times where I'll go carnivore and then I'll go right back into the meat and the fruit diet. I'm more often on the meat and fruit diet, but I have done carnivore over the years, and I will go into periods where I'm eating nothing but zero carbs. Even though zero carbs kind of a misnomer, because there's carbohydrates in internal organs. There's some degree, and even eggs have some degree of carbs. It's very minimal though, but that can be very beneficial. So I stay under a banner and under an umbrella: meat, fruit, venom, supplements, flower essences, electrolytes, hydration, and a few other things that I'm keeping secret until the book's released. These things that haven't shared are incredible resources of power, and I hope people will hear my voice and be able to pick up on the authenticity of how much this has changed my life. I've been doing this for a long time now. You can also have raw vegetables, but you want to eat them raw unless you're having like sweet potatoes. I'll talk more about that in the book. You can have some vegetables here and there. Lately, last few nights, I've had a carrot salad where you take a potato peeler and you thinly slice carrots into these long strips. And then you take the fat from the meat that you make in the air fryer, you save all the meat, and then you dump it onto the carrots. And you make a salad dressing that way with certain spices. I'm going to walk you through everything in the book, but like to stay on point, it's amazing how much this biome has been terraformed. The fruits are hybridized, the animals are GMO, are genetically tampered with, right? They're given corn, wheat, soybeans as feed. It's a mess, but regardless, even the conventional stuff, you guys, like conventionally raised meat, it's just one ingredient. It's not it's technically processed, but it's not processed with all these dyes and all these additives and all this nonsense, you guys, but it's still a problem. We do the best that we can in this underworld. Accept it as a challenge. Life is like a game. Like lately, the vehicle's been out of commission, so I have to go at least 7 miles on foot just to get food. And usually I run, and then it's 7 miles back. Do you have any clue how much more rewarding it is to be in a fasted state and then run at night 7 miles into town to then go to the store and pick my foods, put them back into my backpack, and then run back like a vampiric hunter. And I don't mean like a vampire hunter. I mean a vampire that is a hunter. Those of you who have paid attention to my content and have watched my live streams over the years know that I don the archetype of the vampire for a very specific reason. The vampire archetype is the dearest archetype that I hold in my heart. There's a reason why. The vampire is a survivor. And I'm not talking about your Hollywood bullshit vampire. So I've got a vampire series coming, you guys. I think you guys are going to find it really interesting. I've got an animated series on vampirism, what vampirism actually is. And I don't mean animated with cartoons. I mean, it's like a short cinematic film. So, man, it's crazy because across the house here in Virginia, there's mile after mile after mile of wild black raspberries growing along this creek, right? Those wild black raspberries, I've talked about them in a few of my vlogs, are satiating in a way that no store-bought food will ever be able to rival. It is amazing how much different these wild foods feed not only our body, but our energetic self and our mind. Real food makes you sane, guys. Real food awakens the Luciferian heat in your genetics. Lucifer means to be lucid, to be sane. Most people are not sane. They're not sane at all. So there's 3 blueberry bushes right here. I've picked every single berry off those bushes. My fig that I thought was going to die ended up living. Everything's growing. So guys, start raising fruit trees, start growing things, start getting real food into your system, because the longer you wait, the longer it's going to take for you to reap the rewards of your hard work. Fruit trees take years to establish properly. So the longer you wait and dick around, that's like time is of the essence is my point. And time is something that I've always taught about. You have to learn to relate to time differently. We've been lied to about time. We look at time as this linear path between 2 points. We've been lied to about time, you guys. The ancients related to time in a completely different way than we do. You want to start tapping into or relating to time like it's an element. And what do I mean by that? Well, in the system of ceremonial magic, you have 4 traditional elements: earth, air, fire, and water. I've changed things around. I have my own element system that goes far beyond earth, air, fire, and water. And one of the additional elements in my system is time. It's time. I have a symbol for this element, a book of correspondences or a tablet of correspondences. I've gone out of my way to create my own system of living, and it's a magical system, guys. You have to learn to relate to time differently, like it's a living, breathing thing. You also need to learn to relate to death differently. Death is something that we've been lied to about. To learn more about that, I'd strongly suggest reading at least the first 5 books in the Carlos Castaneda series. The Teachings of Don Juan, Separate Reality, Journey to Eastland, Tales of Power. All of these books, especially the earlier books, Juan teaches Carlos about like using death as an advisor. Man. So again, time is of the essence, guys. What are you fucking waiting for? Get your fruit trees in the ground. Even if you have to keep them in pots on a balcony, get a fig tree. They have them on sale often at places like Lowe's. I got that Olympian fig for $7, and I think it was originally like $39 or something crazy like that. I brought it back, planted it. I thought it died during winter, and I slowly rehabilitated it. I'm pretty sure it was close to death, but it came back. I spoke to the plant, transferred my energy into it, and now it is thriving. So my plan is to keep this guy alive. I'm going to keep him in the ground here in this spot, and then transplant it. Probably, I don't know. We'll see how well it does. It's growing pretty damn good right now. Do you have any clue how good it feels to like have fruit trees? And to know that someday through your hard work, that tree will produce food for you? Free food, you guys. Free food. That is like a blessing of blessings. And that's how nature's designed. Nature is a Fibonacci sequence. It's a three-dimensional Fibonacci sequence, the foundation of Malkuth. So, like, in the original state before this biome got terraformed and the Earth's history was deleted by the fucking vampires in charge, everything was free. You didn't have to struggle to eat. At one point in history, there's been many resets and many changes, but at one point in our history, there was fucking fruit growing everywhere, you guys. Everything was pristine. You have no clue the mysteries of this earth that's been veiled from you. It's a total disaster. I mean, imagine entire, like, just acres and acres and acres of free fruit growing, being fed with pristine water, where the Christ grid around the earth hadn't been fractured through things like Operation Starfish Prime. Everything was being fed properly. It was getting the right amount of sun and lunar activity. Imagine the smell of thousands of plum trees and pear trees and peach trees and figs. The sweet, fragrant smell of hundreds of acres of different wildflowers all blooming and the bees pollinating everything. And like, you guys, they've broken this world, right? And now you live in this suspended bubble of hypnosis where, you know, all I do is think positive thoughts, bro. I'm going to manifest. I'm a manifester, bro. I'm going to manifest, bro. You're good for you. You manifested something in hell, and we all should learn to use our minds to alter reality, but you have to be aware of what's happened here, right? Instead of just selfishly chasing things, you've got to be aware of what's been stolen from you, guys. Until you become truly aware of, like, until you know the truth, any form of manifestation is anchored in a foundation of ignorance, right? So if you can get yourself to the point where you can get that kundalini lit back in your system again, it's going to change everything about you. You're going to understand what's going on now, and now you can pursue the fucking path. Because the real path of the one thing that you should be attempting to manifest more than anything else, right, is your conscious connection to God through Christ being the risen kundalini. But no one's doing that. People are just chasing fucking, $1 million houses and stupid ass fucking Lamborghinis and all these lame beta male fucking exotic cars. There's nothing lamer, in my opinion, than these douchebags driving around in their Lamborghinis thinking that they've made it. They're successful, right? It's the cringiest thing ever. Again, when you get on the path, when you nourish yourself, you're going to look at everything differently, you guys. Like, what most people view as an alpha male is a complete bastardization, and it's not true. And they've got all these young adults chasing it. This is just a mess. It's a mess, but you don't have to be suspended in that spider's web of ignorance. You don't. So I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. Until next time, peace be with you all.